Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Michelle and this is Michelle Creates. So this is a continuation video of a flat panel that I was knitting, and it's the rib stitch. So it's the U-wrap knit and purl stitch every other pattern. So I've already started it, and what I want to do is create a couple more rows, and I want to show you the work that's coming out, because in the previous video I have the cast on and I have the actual how-to pattern for the U-wrap knit stitch and the purl stitch, but it doesn't show what it's actually looking like, and so I wanted to do a continuation video. So on this, I've already done the E-wrap and I've done a few rows, and so I'm going to continue doing the U-wrap knit stitch, and that's going to be on every other peg. It's going to go knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, purl stitch. I cast on 8 pegs here, so it's a really small panel just because I wanted it to be a shorter video. So what I'm going to do is continue on the next row, and I'm going to stitch a few rows for you, and then I'll show you what's going on here. So skipping that first peg, I'm going to do the purl stitch next. Okay, again, this is a continuation video, so I'm not doing it real slow on how to do the stitches. The purpose of this is to show you what it actually is going to look like. Okay, working in an every other stitch here. I'm on knit stitch. This is a U-wrap. And the purl stitch. Not really teaching you how to do it. That's in the other video. So sorry if I'm going too fast. Not really explaining it in here. I'm just basically showing you. Okay. Now we're going to go back and we're going to skip that first peg and go on to the next one. And so because it's every other, this should be the knit stitch, the purl stitch, and I can already kind of tell it's coming out underneath. I can already tell what it's looking like. Knit stitch, purl, and knit. Again, you want to make sure that you're doing each peg exactly the same, meaning this is always a knit stitch, this is always a purl stitch, knit, purl. Don't alternate it. That's a completely different stitch. That's a completely different look. This is the rib stitch. So it gives your knit panel an actual ribbed look. There's a purl, knit, purl. The knit is actually the U-wrap, okay, because there's a few different knit stitches. There's a flat knit, there's an E-wrap knit. This is the U-wrap. And purl. Going back, I'm going to probably just do one more, and always skipping that first peg of your row. And this should be a knit, purl, knit, purl, and last one is the knit stitch. Okay. I'll just push this down so you can see. All right, this is what's coming out. So you have your edge that will always look the same, whatever stitches you're doing, but now you can tell how it's ribbed. Okay. Typically when you're closer to the loom, when your yarn is closer to the loom, it's going to look a little bit more stretched out because of the distance of each peg. As it grows, it's going to tighten up more because it's getting farther away from your pegs here. Okay, so if you feel like it's a little farther apart or loose, it will tighten up. Because this was the E-wrap cast on, these loops are loose. If you're going to leave this edge exposed, meaning you're not going to sew it into anything, you're going to want to go check out my other video, and that will show you how to tighten up this E-wrap cast on. Also, you can tell how it has shrunk. I have 8 pegs that I'm using that I wrapped, okay? But look at how narrow this is. So you can basically measure how wide something is going to be. If I'm using a typical acrylic 4-weight yarn, that's what I'm using. Pretty much it's the width is 2 pegs in. Okay, it's on the 1, 2, 3rd peg it starts. 1, 2, 3rd peg it starts. So you're going to be like, okay, well, if I'm going to knit on 8, it's not going to be this wide. Okay, it's going to shrink. So traditionally, or usually, I just count in 2 pegs from the end, so I know how wide this is going to be. Okay, all right, I'm not doing a cast off or anything on here. I just wanted to show you what this is looking like. This is the front side. This is the back side. Look at that. It looks the same because it's the knit purl alternating stitches. All right, you guys, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comment section below regarding this video. And enjoy, have fun, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.